Happy Wednesday, everybody. No, your times are not wrong. We are live right now. So do it. Trust me. We are as confused as you are, but it's okay. Do us a favor, kick back, relax. We're going to get right into it because an evening/afternoon edition of Hitting Home starts right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another edition of Hitting Home, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio. Coming to you guys live today with all the latest around the world of baseball. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, Dustin Reese. No, people, you are not confused. We know what time it is. It's okay. We are not several hours late. We are right on time. But Dustin, how are we today?
Interesting. We'll say that.
It is interesting.
Baseball is an interesting game.
It is. So, look, we got a lot to go over. We'll have our fun segments. We'll have Beat the Grid later on. We'll play our stud or dud for the month of May, give our top performers so far through the first 2 months, and our least performing players of the first 2 months. We'll get into that. Dustin has some college baseball that he wants to bring up later on in the show as well. We will also talk some AL East, but a lot of the show got a little bit off the topic from news we got, Dustin, about an hour ago. And that is that the MLB Players Association has made their first proposal to Major League Baseball today regarding the collective bargaining agreement. So, I'm not going to go through an entire long soliloquy with this. I'm just going to point out the things that Jeff Passan pointed out in his tweet.
Oh, there's a lot more that we didn't even post. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot to go into, but we'll just break down a little bit of it. So the few bullet points that Jeff Passan puts in his little tweet here is a competitive integrity tax for any team that does not spend $150 million, increasing the minimum salary from $780,000 to $1.5 million, to increase in base CBT threshold from $244 million to $300 million. Passan then goes on to tweet, MLBPA's proposal maintains the game's current financial structure with significant changes. A revenue-sharing proposal aims to increase money given to lower revenue teams, but forces them to direct the money to the major league team. Many more dollars going to players as well. Then, a short while before, about maybe 20 minutes after that was released, here is a quote from MLB spokesperson Glenn Kaplan. We understand their proposals are designed to benefit players. Unfortunately, they do not address the competitive balance problem our fans are telling us we must address. So basically, this has already been the owners in Major League Baseball saying, thank you for your proposal, but it sucks and we're not going to go even think about it anymore.
I mean, so there's no salary cap. There's no salary cap. Where was that discussed?
Yeah, you think the players are going to the players will? They're never going to address. Now that's going to be the owner's proposal. Supposed to be tomorrow, so that's going to be the interesting thing. But yeah, I don't see this getting us. We're not any closer than we were 3 months ago.
I mean, some of what the players proposed, I'm actually fine with. I mean, the $780,000 to $1.5 million, that's really nothing for an MLB owner to afford that, so that I don't mind. increasing the luxury tax from 244 to 300. Again, I don't mind that either. And then the whole basically making the salary floor $150, I don't mind, or $150, $150 million, I don't mind that, just because now it's essentially saying they want all these teams to be between 150 million and 300 million essentially. That's kind of where they want these teams to consistently be at. And I know a lot of fans are going to be like, well, if there's no salary cap, aren't the Dodgers going to keep doing what the Dodgers are doing? Yes, in a way, but also no, because if teams are going to get penalized for being under that $150 million threshold, they are going to be forced to spend some money. They're going to be forced to sign a couple players for $30 to $35 million a year to get close to that $150 million threshold. So that also leaves less players for the Dodgers to go after, because all these other teams are now going to have to start going after a couple of these guys to get closer to that salary floor.
It's because, again, another big issue with the way that baseball is currently constructed isn't just, like I said, I understand that people are pissed off with the Dodgers. I get it. I'm never going to not agree with that side. But the other thing that I cannot stand are the other teams that claim that, okay, they don't have the Dodger payroll. Okay, yes, I give you that. But there are owners that collect all their revenue and do jack with it. That's the problem that I have. I don't have a I have a problem with the Dodgers. Yes, spending $60 million on guys like Kyle Tucker. Well, first of all, for the people saying that, oh, nobody can give Kyle Tucker that money. First of all, there's two parties to that. Number one, nobody should give Kyle Tucker that kind of money. The Dodgers just have the luxury of they can. Here's the thing with these offers. I am not going to be buying into any of this talk until two things are addressed. Number one, the owners are going to have a freaking counter offer tomorrow. So we know that's coming. That's number one. Number two, I need somebody to have the balls to put in an offer. Can we talk about the Dodgers deferring 90% of a guy's contract? That is the first thing. Until we reach that point, I don't see how we are going to make any inroads in this.
And the thing with that is, like, you have been able to defer money like forever. Like, that was never something you weren't allowed to do. But the system wasn't created for it to be done the way the Dodgers are doing it. The system was to basically be created like if you're paying a guy $35 million, you can defer, we'll just say $8 million of that. So you're paying him $27 million now, and you're deferring $8 million like later on to help you maybe sign one or two more guys like this offseason just to kind of help offset the luxury tax and things like that. That is ultimately what that was created for. It was basically created to allow teams to sign big name players, but to still put a portion of money aside so they can kind of help run out their roster. It wasn't designed for teams to be deferring 90% of these contracts. That's not what it was designed for.
No, absolutely not. And the fact that Shohei Ohtani is going to make what close to what? So what, 60 million a year on the years he's not with the Dodgers?
He's making $70 million a year is what the contract shows, but he's getting paid $4 million to play. And he's getting $66 million deferred every single year.
Exactly. Now that I agree with. There are teams that cannot do that. They cannot pay an entire major league roster and then pay a guy that's off their roster that kind of money. That part I agree with. But like I said, there are teams, like there are players that are upset that there are teams that collect all this revenue from in-stadium revenue to TV money, and they do nothing with it. They just sit there on their hands and just let it all be what it is. And that's what makes me sick. That's the problem that we are having right now. There are two sides to this. The Dodgers are not helping the sport, and the teams that aren't even trying aren't helping the sport. And for the people that want to say, oh, well, why are teams going to try if the Dodgers just continue to do what they do? Can someone have the balls to at least try to step up to them and try it? Don't get me wrong.
I mean, the teams that have tried it, though, it's like they don't want to try it because they know it's going to hurt them financially long term. Because it's essentially like a credit card loan. You still have to pay this money back. It's just a matter of when you're actually paying the money back. So someone can defer all this money they want, but after the new CBA goes through, and we're never going to know what the financial situation is for all teams until this new CBA is agreed upon, you could cripple yourself financially for the next 15 to 20 years if you do what the Dodgers did, depending on what happens in that CBA. That's why nobody's going to even step up to the Dodgers level and do what they do because of the long-term penalties it could have for a team.
You're not wrong. I will say you're definitely not wrong on that, but
let's just say a salary cap does come into play, and we'll just say the salary cap is $300 million. The Dodgers have $464 million deferred this year. That is more money than what the new salary cap would be. Like, that literally cripples a team because you're not going to be allowed to spend any money outside of whatever money they allow you to spend.
yeah. Again, it's just this whole thing. Like I said, today was just like, I don't know if there's anything significant to take away from this, except that we're going to get a counter offer. Neither side's going to like either side's offer, and we're going to be just doing this for the next several months.
And that's why I kind of brought this up even a couple of weeks ago. I think it's going to get to the point where you're going to just constantly see proposal after proposal after proposal after proposal. No one's going to agree on anything. They're going to go into a lockup, but then they're going to settle on basically a 1-year deal and just push everything on hold for a year. And then they're going to go through the same process again next offseason. Same shit, different time. It's going to be put off for as long as they can put it off. And then they'll just kind of settle on a 1-year deal. And just the process is going to be basically a rinse and repeat. Like, they're never going to, I don't see them ever coming to another 5 to 10 year CBA deal ever again. I really don't. I think it's going to constantly be like these short 1 to 2 year small agreements just to keep baseball going, and then it's just going to be rinse and repeat.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't like, and a lot of it, I think, is again, it's a sport that doesn't want to lose money, and unfortunately, they did lose money the last time this happened. That's why they came up with that tentative agreement in 2021, was because they didn't want to lose a lot of money because of what happened during COVID. But now, I mean, if they have a lockout and it's that guaranteed that a salary cap is never going to be in the conversation, and we're just going to keep going back and forth, you're right. I don't see how we come to a long-term agreement because this sport is not going to, the players in this sport are not going to want a salary cap. And the owners, of course, will want one because they're the owners. Why wouldn't they? But
exactly.
Yeah, I just, like I said, there's some in there that I like. I like the fact that they're trying to do stuff with the revenue sharing. And, like, you honestly, like, again, you should not be able to just sit on your hands on your revenue sharing and just sit on that money because it's a lot. But
that's my favorite part of the proposal is the $150 million floor. And that's just because I'm going to use Paul Skeens as an example. For the Pirates to get to that $150 million floor that they need to be at, that's going to require them to keep Paul Skeens there long term. They're going to have to give him a $50 million deal, like $50 million per year.
Yeah, I agree.
Something they typically don't do, but now you're forcing every team to have at least one player on that roster making $35 to $40 million, or 2 to 3 players on your roster making $25 million and then rounding out the rest of your roster. It's going to force these teams that typically don't spend to spend money, like the Rays, the Royals, the Guardians, the Pirates, all these teams that typically don't spend money. It's going to force these teams to spend a little bit, which means it takes high-quality players away from the Dodgers so these deferred contracts don't keep happening. And it brings more of a competitive balance to every team in baseball because now every team is going to have quote unquote at least one, if not two, superstar caliber players on their roster.
So it's basically doing with like what the NBA does with max and supermax contracts. Mm-hmm. You're basically gonna have slots for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, now see, if I was the players, I don't personally like that. Because I will tell you now, I hate how the NBA salary cap is constructed. That could strap an entire team with 3 players. I mean, look what it's doing to the 76ers. They can't do anything. I mean, they literally have no money to spend this offseason except their mid-level exception and the taxpayer exception, whatever the hell that even means. But
Right.
now, if me personally, as a fan, I don't want to see that because I understand that's where the problem. That's where we are, though, because of how much money is on teams like the Mets and the Phillies and the Dodgers. There are teams that can't afford to do that. However, if you do that, you're strapping a lot in terms of teams. Like I said, you have Paul Skeens, and then I mean, let's use a team like the Dodgers. That would be Shohei, Tucker, and Freeman and Betts. That's 4.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you would be able to afford that. That's the part where it gets
you also
kind of
got
iffy.
to throw in Yamamoto too. Yamamoto,
Exactly.
Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Edwin Diaz, like those 7 guys together right there are over $400 million.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And I don't know how you would be able to justify that to these teams because they're going to say, well, wait a minute, we already gave these guys this X amount of dollars. What are we supposed to do now? And that's basically where they're going to say, huh, that's up to you. That's up to you to figure out. You're the ones that gave them the money. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I will say I am happy that an offer has been made. I am glad it did not take until the All-Star break or halfway into the second half of the season that at least we got some type of an offer. I will be very interested to see the owner's offer tomorrow, and we'll bring that up on next week's show. So I will be interested to see that. But yeah, I'm going to end my take on it as I don't think we are any closer now than we were about 3 months ago. I think we're just still in the same boat, doing the same crap. And that's really it. By the way, as we transition out of this MLBPA versus the owner stuff, Christopher Sanchez has set the Phillies record for the most consecutive scoreless innings, surpassing Grover Cleveland Alexander's mark back in 1911.
Jeepers.
So once again, the Christopher Sanchez Cy Young freaking tour continues, and I'm riding the ship. Skeens, you had your time. It's okay. Christopher Sanchez needs his now.
I'm pretty sure Jacob Mezarowski is going to have something to say about that.
That's just fine. We scored 5 off of Skeens. We'll bat him around too and raises the ERA high enough to where he can't catch Sanchez. It's okay. Speaking of pitching, let's talk about a division real quick. About out in the AL East, we got a nice 2-team race that's looking like now between the Rays and the Yankees. Now, the Rays right now are currently holding first place. I believe, let me just make sure that I am correct. They are 3 games.
Oh, they're 3?
2.5. 2.5. Yes, the Rays are currently 2.5 games up on the Yankees. They are 34-18. Yankees are 33-22. Yankees have gotten Rodon and Cole back in their rotation. They lost Max Fried. Hopefully, we'll get him back sooner rather than later. But right now, Tampa Bay now back in the Trop, no longer playing in the minor league stadium, which was hilariously owned by the Yankees. But that's another story for another day. Dustin, if you had to put it into words, what do you think has been the biggest factor in the Rays' early season success?
I think a big part of it is just getting back to home. Just getting back to the Trop, just having that home environment. Granted, the fans still don't turn out like they should, but just getting back to that home environment, getting back to the comfort level of being at home and just being used to the way that stadium plays compared to everywhere else. Obviously, that helps. But then having guys like Drew Rasmussen, Shane McClanahan come back healthy. Like McClanahan was one of the best, if not the best, left-handed pitcher in baseball a couple of years ago until he started going through his injuries. He's healthy again this year, and he still shows that he's got a lot of stuff left in the tank. And obviously, Drew Rasmussen is what he is. I mean, this is the first time since. I mean, you could make the case since the first time since forever that the Rays have a bona fide power bat in their lineup in Junior Caminero. The only one that actually comes to mind is Carlos Pena, who was only there for, I think, 4 or 5 years, and he was giving you around 30 homers a year. He wasn't doing what Junior Caminero did last year. So the Rays have like a legitimate game-changing superstar offensively in their lineup. The organization's always been well run from the top down. They've always had good managers, whether it was Joe Madden when they made their first World Series appearance to what Kevin Cash now. It's just a very well run organization, and that's never going to change.
And again, it's another organization that, we're talking about the CBA, it's a star. It's another organization that doesn't necessarily spend a lot of money. They are, honestly, they're not as successful, but they are kind of like what the Brewers do. They just develop guys, or they'll take flyers on guys. Like, you just brought about Drew Rasmussen and Shane McClanahan. What about the other two guys in the middle of that rotation? How about the way Nick Martinez and Steven Matz have thrown the ball? They're combined 8-2 on the year. That's where I'm going to go with my thing with the Rays. The biggest reason they're in first place, they have got 4 bona fide guys in that rotation that are just giving you great innings. McClanahan is healthy, like you said. Rasmussen's been great. Matz has given them good starts. Nick Martinez, this guy was signed, in February? Did they sign him late?
Yeah, I think it was March even.
I mean, he was signed late, and he is literally like 5-1.
Yeah,
and they are just again.
He was good last year with the Reds though too. Like I think he was like 8-2 or 8-3 with the Reds last year. Like he was one of those guys last year that when the Reds didn't bring him back, I think a lot of people were shocked just because he was the perfect swingman for that Reds rotation, where you could throw him in the rotation if you needed him to pitch in the rotation. You could keep him in the bullpen if you needed him in the bullpen, because the guy was like 8-3 at one point with the Reds last year with like a 2.70 ERA.
Yeah. I mean, he was ridiculous for them last year. Like you said, he can give you innings out of the bullpen and give you innings as a starter. And I was close. He's 4-1 this year with a 1.51 ERA. Like, that is ridiculous. And
have I ever told you how much I hate the Brewers?
Dustin, we covered this last week.
Dustin May just lost a no-hitter in the 8th inning to the Brewers, and the fucking Brewers won the game 2-1.
I did see that.
That is stupid.
That is baseball.
That is stupid.
Go ask the A's about losing a no-hitter and losing the game. Go ask how that went. But that's baseball, man. You could have a no-hitter and still lose a game.
Or you could throw a no-hitter and lose a game.
That is true. But no, I agree with what you're saying. But about, Junior Caminero, a lot of people, not many, but some people love to throw out last year that, the only reason that he had the success that he did last year is because of the ballpark they played in. He's still showing the pop with the back at the Trop this year. So I don't want to hear people say that because where he played last year is why he has that pop. No, pop translates. I don't care what ballpark you play. If you have pop, that ball's going to go out no matter basically any yard you play in. But
it's kind of funny though, because the only time the Rays have spent money, like I'm talking not like Evan Longoria money or like what they were giving like David Price back in the day, but the only time the Rays have actually spent money is when they had Wander Franco, and look what happened to Wander Franco.
Oh, let's not bring up. We're getting canceled. Well, guys, thanks for watching.
But I'm just saying, like they gave Wander Franco a 12-year, $250 million contract,
which so they'll never do it again.
Unheard of for the Tampa Bay Rays organization to give out that kind of money for that long of a term. And the guy played 64 games under that contract.
And like I said, never again will they do it. I guarantee it.
That's why, they're going to be forced to. If you get to that $150 million floor, they're going to be forced to give. They're going to be forced to give Junior Caminero like a 5 or a 6-year deal worth around $200 million.
Which, I mean, why wouldn't you? The guy's just a slugger. And now, if you look at other players on their roster, I mean, Jonathan Aranda, who's their full-time first baseman, he's having a strong start to the year. He's hitting 278 with an OPS over 840.
Yandy's one of the more Yandy Diaz, one of the more unorthodox leadoff hitters you'll find, but all he does is consistently hit 270, 280 with 20 home runs and like 85 to 90 ribbies.
Yandy may be one of the most underrated hitters in the sport.
Yeah. Again, he's such an unorthodox player. Like, you watch him swing. His swing is it's a horrific swing. I don't know how he doesn't throw his back out every time he swings. But like he's such an unorthodox player, but yet he'll always hit 280. He'll give you 20 plus home runs and 90 plus RBIs every year.
Yep, and I mean this year, 312, 8 homers, 33 ribbies, 27 runs scored, an on base close to 400, and an 885 OPS. Like that is
When you
ridiculous.
break that down for the course of the year, he's on pace for a 25 homer, 105 RBI season.
Yeah, and I mean you're getting guys like Chandler Simpson hitting 290 with, I mean, he's not a lot of power, but 14 stolen bases so far. Granted, he's been caught 8 times, but providing that spark at the top of the order with hitting for a good batting average. Getting actually some decent production just from guys like Richie Palacios, who I saw a few years ago. I believe he was with St. Louis. Yes, because he has a brother who was in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, because I remember Pirate fans were heckling him. It was hilarious. He's batting 260 with a homer, 15 RBIs. He has 7 steals, 25 strikeouts. He's walked 14 times. So a decent strikeout to walk ratio. On base at 368. They're getting production just from guys all over that lineup. And again, a lot of not household names, but again, that's the Tampa Bay Rays style.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the Rays are going, it means they have a bunch of production from guys that aren't really big house names. Like, honestly, Yandy's probably one of the better hitters in baseball, but he will never get the recognition for it, which is fine. But, and then now let's move over to the other side. Let's move over to the Bronx, the Yanks. Garrett Cole's back. Looked good on Friday.
He did.
Definitely looked good. Rodon's back in the rotation healthy. Now they are missing Max Fried. But again, not a major elbow issue, luckily. So hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. Let me ask you this. I understand it's only 1 star from Garrett Cole, and we need to see how he holds up throughout the rest of the year. Rodon has to get back to what he's been doing the past couple of years. He's only made a handful of starts, not off to the greatest of starts, but still, what he's done with the Yankees is a lot better than what he's done with most teams.
Mm-hmm.
If those two get back on track and Max Fried gets back healthy, with the way Cam Schlittler, who, by the way, is unreal, and Will Warren, the Yankees have the best rotation in baseball.
Yeah, I think they do. And honestly, I don't even think Garrett Cole has to get back to the way he was pre-injury, because if he gets anything close to where he was pre-injury, as long as Cam Schlittler continues to pitch the way he pitches, that is the Yankees' ace. It's not going to be Garrett Cole anymore. It's not going to be Max Fried. Garrett Cole could be your number 2. Max Fried could be your number 3. And right there, that is the best top 3 in baseball. And I mean, what Cam Schlittler's done this year, I think a lot of people expected him to be good because he's been one of the top prospects in the Yankee system for a while. But I don't think anyone expected him to do what he's done this year. And now that he's proven what he can do and he's pitching it the way he's pitching, it allows the Yankees a lot more flexibility. It allows them to take their time with Max Fried coming back. It allows them to, if they want to ease Garrett Cole back into like an everyday rotation type thing where they can skip a start here and there for Garrett Cole for a little bit and still not worry about not having the ace go to the mound, and just having a guy that every 5th day is not only going to come out and shove, but pretty much every 5th day you're going to be in a position to win. That is a massive difference for a lot of teams.
I mean, we're talking about this rotation, and, we haven't even brought up the guys that I don't even know how you factor these guys in if they ever come back healthy. Like Luis Gil, if he ever comes back healthy this year. I mean, he started off with 4 games, got batted around. The ERA's over 6. He's been on IL with a shoulder problem. Clark Schmidt Clark Schmidt got back on a mound back in April, but I'm not sure where we are with him coming back at all this year. But I mean, Ryan Weathers, another guy who's actually had some pretty solid start to the year, 3.14 ERA through 10 starts. Like, they are actually, and then you got guys like Ryan Yarbo who could be good out of the pen, but could also give you a spot start or two here and there.
That is what ultimately scares me the most with the Yankees team, is because right now theoretically, the Yankees could throw 11 starters at you and go with an 11-man rotation and not have an issue with it. But knowing that they have as many starters that they have, knowing that not every starter you can carry on your playoff roster, not every starter you can put in the rotation, they are going to trade some of their starters for different pieces. Whether that means a closer, whether that means bullpen pieces, more offense, that's the question. The guys that come to mind for me right away, I look at Will Warren and Clark Schmidt as probably the two guys that are the biggest trade chips right now. And if Luis Gil was healthy, I think he'd be right up there too, because you're not trading Garrett Cole. You're not trading Max Fried because of that contract. Obviously, you're not trading Schlittler because of what he's done so far. Carlos Rodon's owed a ton of money, and he's got the injury history, so I don't see too many people wanting him. And then Ryan Weathers, they acquired this offseason to be one of the back of the rotation starters, so I don't see him getting traded either. It's pretty much going to be that Will Warren, Clark Schmidt, and Luis Gil trio that I think would be on the block. And if you trade any one of those three guys, you're getting a haul in return and getting some massive production.
No, I agree. And I mean, if you're looking at what the Yankees need, I mean, David Bednar has been okay in the back end of their bullpen. ERA at 4.7. So that's a little high. They could use bullpen help. I think they need some more help in the lineup. Bellinger's had a good start to the year. Judge has had an okay start, not to the typical Aaron Judge standards that I'm sure he's used to, but I just feel like this Yankees lineup is still built the same way. It's got Aaron Judge, and guys have to step up. But I think they could use another game changer in their lineup. I don't know who that is. I mean, Austin Wells has gotten off to a rough start this year. Jazz Chisholm has been okay. He's been 246, and I mean, he's banged up. He had a heel injury that he was going through the other day in Kansas City. I saw he was running a little awkwardly. Ben Rice is still having a really good year. OPS is just a tick under 1,000 for the year, hitting 285 still. But I still feel like they are in need of a more consistent hitter. I mean, their outfield is outside of Aaron Judge. And I mean, Bellinger, like I said, he's been good. I think Bellinger's actually been better some days than Judge has.
Right.
Grisham not having the production he had last year. They brought up Spencer Jones. Again, he's a kid. He's played 10 games this year. I mean, Giancarlo's hurt again.
See, that's exactly what you just said, and that's the one thing that I would look at. You just said the Yankees outfield, right? Name a team that has an outfielder that they could give the Yankees, and that would also like the young pitching like Clark Schmidt and Will Warren in return to pair with Jose Soriano.
That's crazy. Before you even said Jose Soriano, I was going to bring them up.
Mike Trout to the Yankees.
Hell, I wasn't. You know what? I was thinking about that, but then even if Trout wasn't, I think Joe Adell would be a nice addition too.
Yeah, but you could do Trout and Joe Adell. Trout and Joe Adell package Will Warren and Clark Schmidt together, or Will Warren and Luis Gil together. You give the Angels the pitching to pair with Jose Soriano, and then the Yankees get their outfield bat and Mike Trout, and then you can use Joe Adell at DH.
Yeah, because I mean Giancarlo, I don't even know if Giancarlo's an everyday DH at this point.
He's not. And like the thing is, Joe Adell crushes left-handed pitching. He hits like almost, I think, 340 off of lefties. Just platoon and put Giancarlo in a DH against righties and let Joe Adell go against lefties.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a match made in heaven. Like you said, the Angels could be looking for some pieces in the rotation to pair with Soriano and Gill or Schmidt or Warren, wherever they feel like moving them. And it's not like they don't have the farm system.
Bellinger, Trout, and Judge is your outfield then.
Yeah. Or if you get both, Trout could DH, Adele could play center. Like there gives you some more stability. I also think they could use another infielder because that infield's not that great either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rice at first has been fine, but if you look around the rest of that infield, I am insulted by the Yankees shortstops ever since Didi Gregorius left. At least when Jeter left, Didi actually played well. Like, I'll give that. Didi actually was playing really well. But since Didi Gregorius, I am insulted by Yankee shortstops. Caballero, he's a nice utility guy, comes in for defense. I know he had a big hit against the Royals. I'm sick of the Anthony Volpe stuff. I'm sick of watching.
Well, then in that case, why don't we just get even cuter? Why don't we just go Mike Trout, Joe Adell, and Zach Neto?
Oh, you see, I wouldn't even. You see, honestly, I would keep out. Even if I wasn't getting both the outfielders, I would take a. I would like if it was Adell and Neto, I would take that deal in a heartbeat.
Or Adell or Neto and Trout. Either one of those.
Either one. I'm just saying, like, either way, I would do those deals. Of course, the other thing that scares me is if the Yankees one day you're back to the Yankees and they want to trade for a certain shortstop in Kansas City, which I don't want to see, but
Bobby Witt ain't going anywhere.
I hope he doesn't go anywhere because I like Bobby Witt.
He's on an 11-year deal. He ain't going anywhere.
But no, yeah, that could make a lot of sense. Neto's a good young shortstop. I know he's not having the greatest year, but I mean, who is having a great year on the Angels? You put him in that Yankee lineup, but yeah, it's like
or another one that scares the crap out of me just because of what he can bring to the table. Geraldo Perdomo.
Why? Why do you bring these things? Why do you do this? Why do you want me to suffer? I love Perdomo. Don't make me hate him.
I do, but like that's a perfect fit with that Yankee lineup.
And they take Arenado with them because they could use a third baseman too.
No, they have other ways they can get a third baseman. They can go a lot of different directions to get a third baseman, but you look at how bad Zach Gallen has been this year, and you look at Corbin Burns being still hurt. Diamondbacks could use a guy like Clark Schmidt or Will Warren. Yankees would love to put Perdomo in the middle of that lineup with Aaron Judge. Short porch in right field. That guy's going to be an instant 35, 40 home run hitter with the Yankees.
I think the last Diamondback shortstop they got was pretty good. What was his name again?
Gregorius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a track record there.
And you put him with that short porch in right field, he's now a 35, 40 home run hitter. Because the guy hit, I think, 29 home runs last year in Arizona, and they had a deep right field.
Exactly. So they definitely need to do something with their infield. But I do like they have a lot of pitching, and that's what teams want. They want young, controllable starting pitching. And I think that there's a lot of ways that you can make this up and figure it out with all that pitching. Because, like you said, they could throw 11 if they wanted to, which would be the most hilarious thing.
Yeah.
But so right now, currently constructed, I know we're not even in June yet. We are literally on the last days of May. If you had to sit here right now and give the edge to one of these two teams in the AL East, who would you give it to?
I'm still going to give the edge to the Yankees because of the ammo they are going to have at the trade deadline. The Rays are going to win with what they have because they're not going to trade away prospects for a rental. They're going to hold on to their pieces. They're going to hold on to a lot of their guys and hope that they develop the way they want to develop and then bring them up. The Yankees will get rid of prospects. The Yankees will get rid of expiring contracts, and the Yankees will get rid of key pieces to get better pieces.
That is true.
Like when you have 11 guys that can physically start games for you and you only have 5 open rotation spots, somebody's going to have to go. If not, 2 people are going to have to go at some point.
Yeah, and like, again, honestly, if I had to think of, I think right now they would probably deal Schmidt first, depending on, even with his injury, I think they would still move him first. Then maybe Gill. I think Warren would be last because he's healthy right now. But yeah, like you said, they're not going to get rid of the veteran arms like, Rodon, Cole. Those guys are going to stay. Mm-hmm. Schlittler's not going anywhere. He'll probably get a contract before anything. But yeah, I mean, I may stick. I'm gonna go opposite with you. I'm gonna stick to Tampa because I don't trust that Yankees lineup, man. It's so hit or miss. Like it's been hit or miss for years, and at least when they had Soto for that 1 year, at least I knew there was somebody outside of Aaron Judge I could rely on. But now, I mean, Bellinger's been good, Rice has been good, but big moments, October. I need to know outside of Judge, even Aaron Judge in the postseason isn't Mister Hot Stuff. He's had his moments too, but I think a lot of it more translates to the fact that there is nobody else in that lineup that strikes a fear in you. The only one that comes close is probably Bellinger, and then probably Rice. Rice because he's a little younger, hasn't played a lot, but I mean they need another guy, and that's where your thing with Trout makes a lot of sense because they need somebody who is feared.
We've never even seen what Trout can do in the postseason, which is freaking scary to
No,
think about for how long that guy's played.
no.
Just getting Mike Trout on a postseason stage, he would live up to the expectations. He would live up to that moment.
Oh, without a doubt. Mike Trout is easily one of the best baseball players of our lifetime. And people who don't think that are just ignorant and don't have respect for the game of baseball and what Mike Trout has done for it. He's one of the best players I've ever seen play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of good ball players.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so you're going Yanks. I'm going with Tampa. I think that's a fair assessment. But moving on here, do we want to get into some? Let me think. So you still got some college stuff you want to talk about, but let's finish with our major.
We can do studs and duds first.
All right, yeah, let's do our studs or duds for the month of May. So, Dustin, who would you like? Would you like to start off, or would you like me to start?
We're starting duds.
Well, then, Dustin, you can go first because I think I'm going to need to sit back and just let you iron some grief out. So go ahead.
So I mean, we're supposed to pick individual players for duds. So
You
we
can
can
do whatever
go,
you feel like. I don't
we
care.
can do Ian Happ, we can do Dansby Swanson, we can do Seiya Suzuki. Hell, we can do Nico Horner. Why don't I just throw the entire Chicago Cubs lineup in there for the dud of May because they are hitting collectively 178 as a team in May. They are 4 for their last 106 with runners in scoring position. They're hitting 062 in the month of May with runners in scoring position, and they have gone from having a 7-game lead in the division to now being 4.5 games behind the Brewers in less than 3 weeks.
Well, isn't there? I mean, I know this is. I know the dud basically is their entire lineup, but what were you telling me off air before we started about the Cubs as well? They've been through how many pitchers so far this year?
They've used 10 different starting pitchers and 36 pitchers in total since opening day.
Folks, it is May 27th. We haven't even hit June yet. For an NFL joke, A.J. Brown isn't even on the road to being traded yet, and the Cubs have already almost hit 40 total pitchers used in the season. So do you have any more grievances, sir?
No, I'm good. I'm good with that grievance because there's nothing more than I can say besides the fact that no team in Major League Baseball history has ever made the playoffs if they have a 12-game losing streak during the season. Cubs get Paul Skeens tomorrow, so if they lose tonight, they're getting 12 in a row.
Well, hey, I thought that was a chalked up loss for us too. We hit him around pretty well.
Paul Skeens is 5-1 with like a 1.82 ERA against Chicago, and that is when
But he's allowed not.
But that is when the Cubs' offense is actually hitting, which they're not doing right now.
Yeah, but you know what I will say though, he's allowed 9 runs in his last 2 starts. 5 to the Phillies, 4, I believe it was Toronto. He pitched the next game against. He hasn't. He hasn't. Skeens has not been on his game the past couple of starts, so maybe the
which
Cubs
means
can
he's
get
going to
lucky.
go throw 7 no-hit innings on tomorrow and strike out 14.
So I'm trying to give you some
Yeah,
positivity.
there ain't nothing positive you can give me. The only positive that you can give me right now is if we fire the hitting coach and honestly fire Craig Counsell. That's the only positive you can give me right now.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. I think we're going a little extreme now with firing Craig Counsell.
No, I don't. Because of his interviews lately, he basically said, we need to pitch better, we need to hit better, we need to field better, and we need to coach better. Well, guess what? If you're saying you're not doing your job coaching, then you shouldn't be coaching.
I agree. That's not the greatest press conference answers to give, but I mean, that's basically just saying the entire team sucks.
Yeah.
But they're not going to fire counsel yet. They're still in the thick of things in the Central, regardless of what the standings are. It's early in the season. They were just in the postseason last year. They're not firing counsel.
They basically said if the Cubs miss the playoffs this year, Council's gone because they think right now he's already lost the team. He called up he called up the Cubs' top 2 prospects last weekend, basically to bring a spark to the lineup, and neither one of them has seen more than 4 at-bats. All they're doing is sitting on the bench. Why are we calling up prospects if we're not going to play them? Call up reserve players if you want to sit them on the bench. You're calling up your top 2 prospects just to sit them on the bench? Makes no sense. But nobody else in your lineup is even hitting. What do you have to lose at this point to throw those guys in there?
No, I agree with that because that's what a lot of Phillies fans were saying last year with Justin Crawford. I was like, oh, he's hitting 330 at AAA. We're wasting a year. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you bring him up when he's hitting 330 in AAA, if he comes up here, plays once a week, what's he supposed to do? And that's why this year worked out. That's why they didn't really bring in much outfield help. They wanted him to play every day.
Well, the one that frustrates me the most is Kevin Alcantara, who leads AAA in home runs with 17 home runs in AAA, and he plays all 3 outfield positions. And yet you have Ian Happ or Seiya Suzuki. Neither one of them can hit a beach ball right now if it was on a tee, but yet we can't figure out a way to start Kevin Alcantara. We can't start him in left field one day and in right field the next day.
That's baseball for you. Where everything you say will sometimes make sense, and everything they do will not. So now I'm going to get to my first dud. I'm going to the team I'm currently watching play, the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm going to go with Fernando Tatis. Where's the power?
He's not on PEDs anymore.
Well, yeah, clearly he's not on PEDs anymore because he can't. You could bring the fences in all the way to the edge of the infield. And he would probably hit a line drives off the wall. His power is gone.
Because he's not on PEDs anymore.
Have you ever seen the movie? It was not a great movie, but it was a funny movie. Did you ever see the movie Thunderstruck with Kevin Durant?
No.
Okay, well, in the movie, this kid meets Kevin Durant, and they each hold a basketball, and he says to Durant he wished he had his talent, and Durant said, and then some magical thing happens where he takes all Durant's ability, and Durant can't play basketball. That's what I feel like's happened with Fernando Tatis. I mean, we're looking at a guy now who, by the way, is on his 3rd different position, playing second base now. 255. His slugging is under 300. His OPS is under 7. He has no home runs. He has 7 extra base hits in 192. No, wait, let me rephrase that. He has 7 extra base hits in 227 plate appearances. 0 home runs. He has 6 doubles and a triple. This guy's still only 27 years old. Like, even last year, I mean, his worst year in his career was 2020 when he only hit 17 homers. And granted, that was only in a 60-game season. What happened to his power? I mean, I know the PED thing, but you're telling me this guy has no power whatsoever? What is happening? So that's my first dud. Who you got next, Dustin?
Next, hold on, I just had my list and I hit a button. Next on my dud list is Cal Raleigh. I mean, I'm pretty sure no one expected Cal Raleigh to do what he did this year. Because the season that he had last year was, I'm sorry, Aaron Judge, you did not deserve the MVP last year. Cal Raleigh did, and I'm going to live and die on that statement because the guy plays catcher every single day and put up the numbers he put up. He deserved the MVP over Aaron Judge last year. But like everyone's like, okay, you had what you had last year, and I think most people expected Cal Raleigh to have a down season compared to that, but still, doing his typical 30 home runs, close to 100 RBIs. And we're almost at the end of May, which technically we are the end of May right now. And Cal Raleigh has 7 homers, 18 RBIs, and is hitting a 161.
And is he currently on the IL too?
He is off the IL, but I think
No.
he's like 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts since he's come off the IL.
So the IL stint didn't help him at all.
No.
Yeah, definitely not the greatest start for the runner-up in the AL MVP voting last year. And I do agree as well. I thought Riley should have won the MVP last year. I get it, Judge, but it's like
He's a catcher who
feel
plays 140 games every day at catcher. That's something you don't see anymore.
exactly. I feel like I feel like every sport now. I feel like we're just getting lazy with our votings. Like, oh, let's give Shea Gill just another MVP. Let's give Lamar another MVP. That's not a bad one. I don't have Cal Raleigh on my dud list, shockingly. Mine is very starting pitcher heavy, starting right here. And I hate, and let me rephrase this again. I'm sure my one Phillies fan who is watching this is probably going to comment and rip my guts out because it's going to be off of, this is not based off what he did last night. I'm going to go Aaron Nola. And yes, granted, I know he pitched amazing last night. I thought he was absolutely awesome. He only allowed the 1-2 run shot to Manny, but so far in the year, his ERA he just finally got his ERA under 6 in 11 games. I think the pitch clock messed with him in the beginning. I think he got used to it, and now I think ABS is messing with him because when you're a pitcher like Aaron Nola, he doesn't have the Christopher Sanchez stuff or the Zach Wheeler velocity. His stuff is solely focused on movement and location. And when you're a pitcher like that who lives on the edge of the strike zone, on the corners, and now there's an ABS system to where you won't get those calls without there being a challenge, it messes with you. And it's clearly. And look, last year I understood it. Last year was the first time Aaron Nola was hurt and placed on the injured list, I think, since like his second year in the league. And he only missed like 2 weeks, which would have been like 3 starts. He has been the workhorse for this rotation for all those years. So I got last year. He's not used to being on the injured list. He's not used to rehabbing an injury. I thought that maybe messed up his season. I get that. But this year, he has been borderline. I thought Taijuan Walker was bad at some points. But Aaron Nola, sometimes, there are times I'm out here, I'm like, dude, he is borderline unpitchable at this point. Now, granted, I'm hoping last night was like the switch got flipped. I hope Caleb Cotham and JT Realmuto and him figured something out because I don't want to watch Aaron Nola limp his way out of the Phillies uniform in the final 4 years of this contract because he still has, again, he's been the workhorse for this rotation for so long. Like I said, go back, look at the playoff runs. Each playoff run, Zach Wheeler got an IL stint because of an injury. It wasn't really an injury. It's because his arm was dead.
Yeah.
Aaron Nola never took that stint. He never got the weak IL stint to recharge his battery. He just came out and pitched 6-7 quality innings almost every single start. And they don't get to the World Series without him in 2022. And they don't get to the NLCS without him in 23. They don't have this run of baseball without him. But now with the way that ABS and the pitch clock has affected him, it's just when you already didn't throw very hard, you don't throw 95 plus, it gets ugly. And there's some ERA over 6 going into June as a full-time starter. It's pretty ugly. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, Aaron Nola is my number 2. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope last night is the beginning of something that changes because I love Aaron. I hate the fact I got to put him on my list, but not a good start. Not a good start. So who you got next up on yours?
I'm just going to throw an honorable mention in there that I almost put on there, and that's Jameson Taillon for the Cubs, just because he's given up 19 home runs already, and we're not even at the end of May yet. He is literally on pace to give up 61 home runs this year. So,
oh my God,
that's something that needs to be addressed and addressed in a hurry. But my next one is going to be Bo Bichette. Another player that was one of the more sought after free agents that several teams wanted, but obviously he ended up going to the Mets. And whether it's because he's been exposed or if it's him adjusting to a new league or whatever it is, not only has he been terribly defensively this year, but he's hitting a 228 with 5 home runs and 27 RBIs, and that is certainly not worth the $45 million contract he's getting.
Definitely is not. I definitely look, and right now, Phillies fans are a little. Oh, there he is. Mr. Bo. But Bo is not a. Again, it could be a lot of things. A lot of it could come to the expectations of playing in New York. That's another big thing that comes into it, and some guys aren't.
Some guys aren't built for that
always.
market.
Nope, not everyone's built for the New York market. There have been plenty of Yankees and Mets that have not turned out well in that market. My number 3, and another one I really don't like doing because I love the Guardians team. I love their pitching, love them defensively. Tanner Bybee, would you like to crack the win column this year, please? 0-7 with a 4.57 ERA so far this year.
See, that's a hard one just because how many of those losses are his fault? Because if you look at Major League Baseball standards on what they consider a quality start is if you give up 3 runs or less across 6 innings. You give up 3 runs in 6 innings, your ERA is a 4.50. So he's pretty much going out there giving up 3 runs or less every single start. That just shows that he's not getting any offensive support.
True, but his latest start, he gave up 7.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I feel bad for doing it, but I mean, dude, 0-7, my goodness, what's going on there, bud? I mean, I've seen guys winless. I've seen winless guys with lack of run support. I've watched Cliff Lee in 2012. Trust me, Guy was 6-9 with an ERA just like a 3.01.
Or Paul Skeens last year, 8-11 with a 172.
That is also true. So yeah, I got Tanner Bybee as my other one. And then who you got next up on yours?
My last one is it's probably going to go down as the worst trade, not only of this offseason, but one of the worst trades in a while, and that is Caleb Durbin, who the Brewers ended up getting Kyle Harrison, who looks like a bona fide ace as part of that Caleb Durbin deal. And all the Red Sox got was the worst hitter in baseball, and that's not an exaggeration. It is the exact fact. He is the worst hitter in baseball, hitting a 163 with 1 homer and 16 RBIs so far. He's committed 11 errors at third base already, which is not going to get it done either. Plus, he has an on-base percentage of 163. 241 on-base percentage, 238 slug for an OPS of 479.
God, at least Tatis's at least his OPS is over 6.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He is statistically the worst hitter in baseball, and it is not even close.
That's bad. The Boston Red Sox cannot do many things right. And finding a third baseman is one of them. If only they had a good one like last year. Oh, wait, they did. But we won't talk about that. My last dud is, oh boy, I hope my Tiger fans aren't watching. Jack Flaherty.
Yucky.
0-6. Not as quality as Tanner Bybee. A 5.94 ERA, a whip of 1.66. He has allowed 31 earned runs and 39 total runs in 47 innings.
Woo.
What happened to this guy that the Tigers had in the first half of 2024 before they traded him to the Dodgers? Because he has been borderline. He has been like Aaron Nola levels of bad pitching since he got back to Detroit. What in the world happened to this guy? The guy was an all-star in the first half of 2024 when he signed Detroit. Since then, I feel like he hasn't been able to get somebody out.
Yeah.
But that's the end of my dud list. Do you have any more honorable mentions or anything, or do you want to move on
Nope.
to the studs?
Ready to go to studs.
All right, well, here, why don't you kick us off?
So my first stud is my favorite to win the NL Cy Young this year, and it's Jacob Mezorowski. You want to talk about a start for the ages. He's 5-2 right now across his 11 starts with a 1.83 ERA. He's thrown 64 innings so far, and he has walked 19, and he has struck out 100. And he's averaging 103.4 miles per hour on his fastball, which makes it the fastest since the StatCast era. It is the fastest average fastball velocity from a starting pitcher.
We knew they were. We didn't know they were going to do it again, but damn it, we were fooled. All right, my first stud. Actually, you just brought him up in your dud list as well. I'm going with the teammate of Jacob Mizorowski. I'm going Kyle Harrison.
That's actually my second one. So you might as well just talk for both of us.
I mean, look, let's be honest here. When Freddie Peralta was traded, this was the Brewers saying that they believed Jacob Mizorowski was ready to be the ace of their staff. They were clearly right. But the question would be, who would take on that number 2 starter spot that could, take some of it off of Mizorowski? Well, fast forward to trading Caleb Durbin, who again is one of the worst hitters in baseball.
He is the worst.
For
Not
Kyle
one of the worst.
Harrison.
He is the worst.
Okay, I'm trying to be respectful here.
That is being respectful. Being unrespectful would be like you don't deserve to be in the bigs anymore.
He couldn't hit if he was playing MLB of the Show. Kyle Harrison, highly touted pitching prospect for San Francisco. And ironically, of all the places a pitcher struggles, San Francisco, which is already a pitcher's ballpark, could never put it together. He showed some life in Boston for his brief stint there after he got traded over there in the Devers deal. He had a couple quality starts, but again, he was kind of just like tossed in the Brewers deal for Derp. Like, all right, yeah, go over there. 6-1 with a 1.57 ERA. In his last 2 starts combined, 3 starts combined, he has not allowed a run. This is ace type stuff you're getting from Kyle Harrison. And honestly, you go into the postseason in Milwaukee, I don't know who's hitting that 1-2 punch.
Not many.
And I do have one honorable mention. I was struggling all week between him and Brandon Marsh because I didn't want to go biased to go with my Philly, but Brandon Marsh is also off to a really hot start. Ever since Don Mattingly took over, Marsh has been awesome. He's batting .320, driving the ball to all fields, but I ultimately picked Kyle Harrison just because, his last 3 starts have been awesome.
And my honorable mention that I threw on this list was Zach Wheeler, just because of the comeback that he made to get back to the majors, and he's made 2 starts now, 3 starts now, and it looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
Oh, he looks like an ace.
Yeah. But the third player on my list is actually his teammate. I'm going to say Kyle Schwarber. Just because, I said it, and I thought Kyle Schwarber should have won the MVP in the National League last year, and I basically said if he doesn't win it over Shohei this year, I don't know of too many people that are going to get it over Shohei this year. And all he's done so far 2 months of the season is hit 21 home runs, drive in 37. He's on a 60 homer, 120 RBI pace. So if you thought his last season was good, he's even off to a better start this year than he was last season. So, yeah, maybe he'll get the MVP this year.
And for all the people that say Bryce Harper is an elite because he doesn't drive in runs, that's because he doesn't have the opportunity to drive in runs because the guy in front of him takes all the credit for that. My next stud, I'm going down back to the NL. I'm staying in the NL East just like you, but I'm going with a team in Washington. I'm going C.J. Abrams.
CJ?
Guy that was brought over in that Juan Soto deal. Man, the Nationals won that deal by a landslide. Mm-hmm. And, he's he's been the Nats' everyday shortstop throughout his career, but, he's been a real spotty hitter. His career best batting average up until this year in Washington was .258, so he's been kind of just an average hitter. This year, through 55 games, man, 289, 380 on base. His OPS is at 923, 12 homers, 11 doubles, couple triples, 46 runs batted in. Finally putting the ball in play more, getting bat on the ball. Absolutely awesome to see from CJ Abrams, who, again, I still think, I mean, only 25 years old. Maybe he's finally starting to hit that potential that they were looking at. And between him and James Wood, the Nats have they got some young up and coming players that they can build off of.
Mm-hmm.
So I went CJ Abrams as my number 3. Who you got next?
My last one is the South Side Samurai himself, Munetaka Murakami. Rookie out of Japan is off to what I guess you could say probably the best start that a rookie has had in a while. Granted, his average is only a 234. He struck out 77 times so far, but he's also taken 41 walks. What Murakami has also done is leave the yard, as he is second in Major League Baseball in home runs with 19, only behind Kyle Schwarber. He is now 2 home runs ahead of Aaron Judge, I believe. And we are not even to June 1st, and he is 2 home runs away from tying Shohei Ohtani for the most home runs in Major League history by a Japanese rookie. He's going to shatter that by middle of June, if not before that.
The White Sox can sneak into the wild card conversation.
They are currently the number 5 seed. They're currently the number 5 seed in the American League.
Think they could keep this up? Because it'd be nice to see the White Sox finally have something to be excited about.
Like for everybody that was interested in Murakami this offseason and didn't sign him because they thought he was going to want a massive deal, is kicking themselves in the legs right now because he signed a 2-year, $34 million deal with the White Sox, and he's probably going to get an extension after this year.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say wait for that contract. Be another Japanese player the Dodgers would try to get onto and say, hey, we'll defer $78 million a year if we give you, and we'll just pay you for 20 years after. We'll just Bobby Bonilla you. But no, I agree. Murakami's been absolutely awesome in Chicago. I got 2 more. I got my next one. I got is Cam Schlittler. Not much to say. We talked about him earlier with the Yankees. When we were talking about the Yankees, 7-2, 1.5 ERA. His WHIP is under 1. 81 strikeouts in 72 innings. He's been the ace of the Yankee staff this year. You can make the argument that Fried has been that, but I think Schlittler's just been amazing. And I mean, again, the Yankees could run, like you said, 8 to 10 deep on you in a rotation when they're fully healthy. So I'm going with Cam there. And my number 1, Dustin, we've been talking since the season started, there is a certain relief pitcher who you are a huge fan of. And who would that be?
Mason Miller?
Yes. Well, if Mason Miller is the best closer in baseball, then Aroldis Chapman may be the second best closer right now in baseball. And that's no disrespect to a lot of guys, but dude, Aroldis Chapman, at 38 years old, a 0.5.
Can we not talk about him, please? I don't want to talk about him right now because we're just going to leave it at that because the Dodgers called the Red Sox today on Aroldis Chapman.
Well, hey, look with the Edwin Diaz thing, they kind of have no choice.
We don't need him going there though. Like I don't care where else he goes. He can go anywhere else. He can go to the Braves. He can go to the Phillies. He can go anywhere else. I don't care. Just don't go there, please.
Oh, my God. Chapman, Alvarado, Keller, Kerkering, you're not hitting that. I could literally make baseball a 5-inning game. I can make it a 4-inning game. You are not hitting those guys. Because you're not hitting those guys whatsoever. You're not hitting those guys. So, all right. Moving on next. Excuse if you hear a lawnmower in my background. The neighbor is cutting his grass.
Nice.
Also, again, Chapman, 1 earned run so far this year.
Yeah, it's like last year. What, he started the year with 41 straight scoreless innings before he gave up a run last year?
Pretty much.
He's the definition of a bottle of fine wine. Like he doesn't age. He just gets better with age. And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm still throwing 102. I might not be throwing 105 like I used to, but I'm still throwing 102 and I can still get you out.
Pretty much. I love the stare downs too that he gives to certain players.
Oh, I still remember his World Series run whenever he would strike somebody out in the playoffs and he would just stare people down and they like looked at him like, yeah, I'll just go back to the dugout.
I love me some Aroldis Chapman. Yeah, that it does concern me though with certain it does concern me with certain teams like the Dodgers calling. I heard the Padres even called.
Yeah, Mason Miller and Chapman have fun.
With the Padres already having elite pitching, let's just add another one to the mix, shall we?
They already have the number one bullpen in baseball as it is, and then you got Mason Miller. Oh, why don't we use Mason Miller in the 8th inning today and Chapman in the 9th? Well, tomorrow we'll go the opposite direction. We'll put Chapman in the 8th and Miller in the 9th.
Pretty much. But yeah, so I have Chapman as my number one stud because, again, he has just been absolutely ridiculous with Boston the past couple of years. And Boston will get a decent return when they trade him because they're going to have to trade him.
I mean, they're not going to have a choice.
No, they're they're sellers beware at the moment. All right, Dustin. So you got some college baseball stuff you want to bring up. Now you're more seasoned in college baseball than me, so I'm going to let you take the floor here.
I mean, everyone always looks forward to March Madness because obviously March Madness is the time when everyone gets like super excited about the brackets and everything like that. I look forward to the NCAA baseball tournament. And that is what just came out on Monday. They had the NCAA brackets coming out on Monday. And this year's tournament is going to be probably one of the better tournaments in recent memory, if I could make an opinion on that, just because you look at the quality of prospects that are in college baseball this year, the quality of teams that actually made the NCAA tournament this year. I mean, you got guys like Rock Chalowski, who's the number one prospect in baseball, UCLA, team he plays for, number one overall seed. They were 51-6 this year. Only team in college baseball to not lose a single series all year. I mean, you have, I think, 5 SEC teams got top 8 seeds, which that doesn't surprise anybody because the SEC is the number one baseball conference in the country. You had 5 mid-major conferences earn at-large bids this year. First time that's ever happened where mid-majors have taken at-large bids despite not winning their conference. You had teams from like UW-Milwaukee, their first tournament since 2002. Northern Illinois' first NCAA tournament since 1971, when they used to be called a completely different school back then. You have East Carolina. They're in, I think, their 21st consecutive NCAA tournament, and they have gone the longest without ever making it to a super regional, despite being a top 10 overall seed several years. Like the talent in this bracket, and then the best bracket is the number 11 overall seed is Oregon, who is now in the Big Ten. Their entire bracket that they got put in is all Pac-12 teams. Oregon, Washington State, Oregon State. So it's just a glorified Pac-12 tournament back out there. Like, there's so many intriguing storylines this year. Realistically, there's probably 7 or 8 teams that have a legitimate shot to win, even though beating UCLA isn't going to come easy because they've already proven how good of a team they are by not losing a single series this year. But it could come down to either an all SEC championship this year or UCLA getting basically anybody they want, because I believe Georgia Tech is the number 2 overall seed, Georgia's number 3, Auburn's number 4, Florida's number 8, Texas number 6. Like, it's just going to be a loaded field this year. All those games start tomorrow.
Well, so for any of our college baseball people, you got some entertaining stuff to watch over the next, weeks?
I think 3 weeks.
Very interesting. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know how much of like the NCAA baseball tournament you watch ever. Thursday through Sunday would be the day to watch some of it, because that's when you get to see all 64 stuff. And the reason why I like this much more than March Madness, like the whole March Madness thing, is exhilarating. It's exciting. You have the upsets, you have things like that, but it's one and done. Entire season of college basketball, one injury in an NCAA tournament game, that could be your season. NCAA baseball tournament, it's double elimination. So you have multiple chances to get through that round where if you have a good pitcher and all of a sudden he gets lit up in that first game, your season ain't over. You have 2 more shots to win that game. Or if you're like one of these mid-major Cinderella teams going up against UCLA, just because they beat you 15-0 that first game, you still have another chance to get after them and keep your season alive.
Interesting. Yeah, like I said, you are way more seasoned in college baseball than I am, but I will definitely going to have to give it a little bit of a watch this year. Going to have to see what's going on.
And make sure you check out Georgia's left-handed catcher.
Bats left-handed or throws left-handed?
Throws left-handed.
I've never seen a left-handed throwing catcher in my life.
He's 6'6", 240. He's a left-handed catcher.
A left-handed throwing catcher. Outside of a switch pitcher, that may be the most unique thing I've ever heard of.
He's throwing out like 41% of the runners he sees, too.
That is something that I've never heard of before, and I've always thought to myself, why have I never seen a left-handed throwing catcher? Now I'm going to have to watch. I'm going to have to watch Georgia and see this for myself because that sounds like something very interesting. All right, Dustin, is it time to beat the grid?
It is.
Damn these grids. They drive me freaking nuts.
Did you do one on Birds of the Gridiron yet?
No, we did one on Unbiased on Monday.
Really, how'd that go? Did you guys beat it?
We did. Luckily, there were some older NFL players that Tyler and I are way too young to know, and luckily George was with us on Unbiased this week, so he was able to help us. And ironically, the 3 players that George gave us were correct, and none of them they were all so old they didn't have pictures.
Really? They just had their fake, just shadow background.
Yeah. So the elder statesman George came in clutch with that. So all right, Dustin, here we go. We've got Brewers, Pirates, and 40-plus WAR career at the top. And to the left side, we got Royals, White Sox, and played left field, minimum 1 game.
Okay.
Let's have some fun here. I actually already have a guess for Royals and Pirates.
What do you got for Royals and Pirates?
Jonathan Sanchez. Former Giants left-hander.
I was going to go Edison Volquez for the Royals and Pirates.
Oh.
Because Edison Volquez pitched in the 2015 World Series with the Royals, and then he pitched in the 2014 NLCS with Pittsburgh.
Which one do you want to go with? I'm okay with either answer.
Go Volquez, because I know for sure he was with both. I'm not saying Sanchez wasn't, but I just remember him pitching in the playoffs.
Okay, if I could spell, that would have been great. There it is. Edison Volquez. When did Edison Volquez pitch in 2020?
Since I don't remember.
Okay. So now, I mean, Brewers White Sox, is that not, do we not just go Andrew Vaughn?
Yeah, you can throw that one in there. I'm sure there's more, but that's the obvious one. Another player that just took somebody and turned him into something.
15%. That's recency bias.
Royals and Brewers, you can go Lorenzo Cain.
Good one. All right. Played left field, a minimum 1 game with the Brewers.
Ryan Braun.
Let's try to. Well, we can go Braun.
I don't like him, so you can throw him on there.
%. Pirates and played 1 game in left field. You could go with Starling Marte.
McCutcheon.
James. How about Jose Tabata?
James Wood, Jose Tabata. Or not James Wood. Josh Bell, I even think played 1 game out there, but I'm not confident enough to put that.
I'm confident to go. I'm going to go. Let's go Jose Tabata. I
Jose
think
Tabata.
What?
Jose Tabata.
Or No, actually, wait. Tabata played a lot of right field. Okay, all right. You know what? I got one. Jason Bay.
There you go.
Wow, I thought that would have been higher. Okay, White Sox and Pirates.
It's tougher than I thought it was.
We've actually gone through this one fairly quick.
Yeah, White Sox and Pirates. This one's tougher than I thought it was. I thought I'd be able to get this one right away. Because I'm trying to think of obviously like older players, but that's tough just because none of us were alive to see any of those older players.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Pirates, White Sox.
And the other one that I'm trying to think of, too, I know Octavio Dotel pitched for the Sox, but I'm not sure if he pitched for the Tigers.
You mean the Pirates?
Yeah, I'm not sure he pitched for the Pirates, but I know he pitched for the White Sox because he was their closer one year.
Someone who's pitched with the White Sox and Pirates.
AJ Burnett did not. He was just Pirates and other teams.
Yeah, not definitely not there. So
just do Octavio Dotel.
Yo, you're going with it?
Yep.
All right. What a pull.
I knew because he was the White Sox closer in 07 and 08. And I could not remember if he was with Pittsburgh before that or after that.
What a pull, Dustin. Good job. All right. So now we can move on to the 40-plus WAR career.
Can we just go George Brett for the Royals? You got to think
I was going to get. He better be or we're in trouble. Yeah. Good guess. Good guess. Could Chicago not be Frank Thomas?
Frank Thomas is the obvious one. I'm trying to think of any other ones that we could throw in that would be less obvious, just because I think just do Frank Thomas.
I mean, I'm thinking like Paul Konerko, AJ Przinsky. I don't know if we would.
Actually, can we change it? Can we change it?
Yes, we can.
Griffey. Ken Griffey Jr. spent a year and a half at the Sox.
Yeah, toward the end of his career.
Yep.
Wow. And now we just need somebody who played left field in a minimum of one game.
Man Ram.
I was going to say Vince Velasquez.
Vince Velasquez would not be a 40 WAR player.
Oh shit! My bad. I forgot 40 WAR player. My bad. No, because if it was just played left field, I was literally going to say Roy Oswalt.
Yeah. Go Man Ram.
We go in Manny Ramirez.
He's got to be up there because of what he did in this thinking late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, buddy.
There we go. And only 6% for Manny Ramirez.
So I think a lot of people think of Manny Ramirez as a DH.
Yeah.
Just because of his adventures in left field.
That is true. Like the high five in the fan.
The one where he tried to catch the ball and he ran through the scoreboard in left field at Fenway.
What? I remember that.
And the other one where they were trying to throw the ball home and he took the cut off and fell over.
Oh, God. But there we go. We beat that grid. Dustin, you want to bring up the other one, or are we just going to roll with this one for today?
I'm pulling up the other one right now.
All right, let me just
loaded it up.
All right, let me just get mine out of there. Let me go here. Oh, boy.
This one's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, hold on a second. I just got a stupid pop-up that just came up on my screen. Get out of here. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Orioles and Phillies, Jim Thome.
Jim Thome was not on the Orioles, was he?
No, wait. Delman Young.
Delman?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. He's even got the Orioles hat on.
No, Thome. Thome played with the Phillies, of course, early 2000s. Signed back with the team in 2012 as a 40-year-old, and the goal was for him to play first base until Ryan Howard came back healthy. That was a colossal failure, and they traded him. The only time, because back then that's when interleague was still only a few series out of the year.
Oh
and
yeah.
Thome had a hot stretch as a DH, and they traded him to Baltimore so he could get more playing time. So, but at Delman Young, I forgot because I want to forget Delman Young.
Should we just do Trey Turner on the next one?
Nope, Jason Worth.
Oh, I like Jason Worth.
He's one of my favorite all-time players. I miss him every day.
100 walk season, Ryan Howard.
Wait, what was it again?
A 100 plus walk season, Ryan Howard.
I don't know if Howard ever walked 100 times, actually.
He had to have when he was winning the MVP because they had all the intentional walks.
You could go Howard. You could go there. You could go Schwarber. Pretty sure Schwarber did it in 2022.
Oh, Schwarber did it last year, didn't he?
Or it's something around that nature. You want to go Howard? That's fine. I think Howard's the good guess there.
Because he had the one season where he had like 55 or 56 homers or whatever. He had to have walked at least 100 times then because they were probably intentionally walking him.
There we go. Let's go with the piece. Wow, that was easy.
100 plus walk season for the Angels.
Would that be Trout?
Yeah, but don't you think that'd be too obvious though?
What about Vlad?
No, Vlad never really walked. He always just swung at everything and then would just hope to God that he'd get the bat on the ball.
Ball four in the dirt. Clanks it to right field for a single.
Mo Vaughn?
Albert?
Yeah, we're doing that one. Did Albert Pujols ever play for? No, Albert never played for the Nationals though.
No. Bottom. You're at the top. X out of that.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you got it. Yep.
I would say, do not do this, man. Do not get us wrong. Okay, give me Albert. Give me Albert.
100 plus walk season, a 2010s all MLB team. Holy Christ.
Adrian Beltre?
No, but somebody else you could throw in there. Miguel?
Oh, yeah, go Miggy. That's got to be Miggy.
Whoa! No Miggy. No Miggy.
No Miggy? Are you kidding me?
Does that mean he was just such a good hitter he didn't take walks?
I guess so.
How did that man never walk 100 times? That's baffling. All right, well, now we got to go Angels and Orioles. Angels and Orioles, that'd be Vlad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that Vlad played. I forgot Vlad was there.
That'd be Vlad.
I forgot Vlad was in Baltimore for a year. Had a really good year in Baltimore, too.
Yeah, he did.
All right, Angels, Nationals.
/ Expos, I'm guessing, but probably just Angels, Nationals.
Yeah, it could be either or. Who cares? All right, let's think.
Oh, my God. I'm not even going to mention it because you'll know it right away.
The worst contract in baseball.
Anthony Rendon.
I was going to pull out Kurt Suzuki since he's their manager.
Anytime I can throw Anthony Rendon out there, I got to do it.
That's fine. All right, so now we have 2010 All-MLB team and played for the Orioles.
For the Nationals, would you go Strasburg or Scherzer?
I would go Scherzer without a doubt.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, then I'll die on the hill. Bang. And would Baltimore be Manny? I mean, Manny started in 2012.
Miguel Tejada?
Not in 2010. Not in the 2010s.
Chris Davis?
Nelson Cruz?
I don't think he would have been all. I like the Manny one.
Yeah, let's go Machado.
If
I think Manny.
nope.
Wow.
All right. So, are you gonna let me get more guesses? No. Okay. Fuck off.
All right. Well, we were 1 for 2 on the grid this week, everybody.
That one tough. I really want to see who other people put for that. Nelson, okay. Nelson Cruz would have been there.
I told you.
Mike Trout would have been 2010's all MLB team that walked 100 times.
I brought Trout up too. We could have. Oh,
I thought it would. I didn't think we brought him up for the 100 walk season. I didn't think he was. Oh, because he was. Oh yeah, because he started off in 2012. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a backbreaker, but it's okay. We were okay. We'll
Vlad,
get revenge next week.
Where Anthony Rendon is, Vlad could have been used there.
Did he play in Montreal?
Yeah, look at his hat.
Oh yeah, duh. I forgot we used Vlad for the Orioles.
Where Jason Worth is, Bryce Harper was the other option there.
Yeah, but that's that's obvious. I like the Jason Worth one. I thought that was a
good
one.
I like that one too. Scherzer, Craig Kimbrell for Phillies and Orioles.
Oh. I could have used Danny's Baez for Phillies and Orioles. It really could have threw this whole thing off.
You could have used Sir Anthony Dominguez.
I could have. Oh man. All right, Dustin. Anything else you want to talk about, or we all baseballed out for the evening?
We're never baseballed out for the evening. I just don't got anything else to talk about right now until the Cubs just signed Aaron Bummer to a minor league deal. So that's pitcher number gazillion added to the minor league roster.
37 and counting.
Oh my God, help me.
Well, guys, until next time here on Hitting Home, by next week, the Cubs will be on pitchers number 48 and 49 probably. The Phillies are going out to L.A. now after completing a sweep of the Padres. Christopher Sanchez for Cy Young. You heard it here first. It's a written in stone. 7 more shutout innings today. But thank you all for tuning in today. Like I always, if you can't tune into the show live, you can always go back on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel and rewatch it. Please always like and subscribe, guys. Once again, we hit 1,000 followers this past weekend, and we greatly appreciate you all for that. Rest of the week, you have Birds of the Gridiron on Friday night for all your latest Eagles talk. We'll be talking some OTAs, talk some offensive line. But until then, guys, have a great rest of your night, because I can actually say have a good night this week because it is, well, for me, it's 6:45 at night. But still, have a great rest of your evening, guys. We'll talk to you soon. For Dustin Reese, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?